Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how I've achieved the visuals I have in my current prototype. Now everything is out of the box functionality, I'm not using any custom shaders or post-processing effects for this, so you should be able to adapt and implement this in your own project as well if you have a modern graphics card and you're using the GLES3 renderer. Yes. Now, as you can see, I have a reflection probe, I have a GIprobe, I have a directional light, and I have a road environment. Obviously pretty standard stuff. GIprobe, pretty standard settings, not much is tweaked here at all. Reflection probe, also pretty standard settings. I have the update mode set to always because otherwise the reflections of the clouds in the water don't properly update and that doesn't look so nice, so that's why I've changed this to always. The reason why I also have a directional light is because even though there is a sun in the road environment, it doesn't actually cast shadows or something, so you still will need a directional light for that separately to get real-time casted shadows. Also pretty standard settings really. It's like even the shadows themselves, no tweaks at all. Road environment, now this is gonna take most of your time, I would say, like spending a lot of time adjusting these colors just slightly. I mean, every single change you make to these colors will have quite the impact on the visuals of the game in the end. There's many post-processing effects here as well. I like using the Aces tone map, it really gets the deeper colors alive, like the blue, it gets the blue really going. Putting this on linear, even if I would tweak it, it just looks a bit washed out. I don't know, I really like Aces the most. I'm using auto exposure because the amount of white on the screen changes constantly. I mean, you have one moment where you're flying through clouds, which is very white, and you have another moment where you're flying close to the ocean, where it's not necessarily so bright even, and then, you know, it definitely benefits from having an auto exposure, kind of automatically adjusting the brightness of the game based on where they're located. Screen space reflections, pretty standard stuff. I mean, I'm still not so happy with how this works. I feel like it makes the surfaces of my jet look too smooth. I feel like screen space reflections, even when you put the roughness up pretty high, it still kind of makes the surface look a bit wet. So that's still gonna require some tweaking, but it is a cool effect though. I think if you get it right, it can really add something to the game as well. Further than that, SSAO, some basic settings right here. Glow, glow's pretty nice. If you have emitting materials that emit some light, the glow will make sure that it kind of calculates that light around it as well. Kind of, well, literally as it says itself, it's like a real glow effect. Now everything here is explained in the Godot docs in great detail, so that's why I'm not really going to explain it to you. I will share my rendering settings as well with you. It's also pretty standard, not much has been adjusted. It's all pretty standard stuff. Now the settings are put up quite high because I usually play in 1440p. Not now though, because I'm recording. When I record at that resolution, frame rate won't keep at 60, but you know, you can turn some of these textures down. Like, I don't know, this texture size is quite large. If you have a 1080p monitor, you probably want to turn this down. But honestly, these kind of graphics are not that hard to achieve in Godot. It just requires a lot of time, lots of tweaking. Another thing worth mentioning is that the jet I'm using, it uses very metallic spatial materials, also materials that reflect quite some light, and that's about it. So I hope that you learned something from this video and that you can get to implementing some better graphics in your own game. Have a good day.